are selections from the Conversations, Maqalat, of Shams of Tabriz. This book was gathered from the words of the beloved Mevlana Shamsuddin Tabrizi, the Sultan of those who have attained. May God not deprive us of his abundant blessings. Shams says, "The quest for love changes us. There is no seeker among those who search for love who has not matured on the way. The moment you start looking for love, you start to change within and without. East, west, south, or north makes little difference. No matter what your destination, just be sure to make every journey a journey within. If you travel within, you'll travel the whole wide world and beyond." As Mevlana Rumi tells us, love is the astrolabe of the divine mysteries. Often it is through difficulty that love is deepened. Shams reminds us of Layla and Majnun. Layla and Majnun. Harun al-Rashid, the famous Abbasid emperor, said one day, "Bring Layla to me, that I might see her just once." Majnun has fallen into total difficulty because of his love for her. From east to west, lovers have made the story of their love their mirror. After spending lots of money and with many sly ruses, they managed to bring Layla. They placed her into a secluded room in the palace of the Caliph Harun al-Rashid. In the evening, the Caliph came to the secluded room. Candles had been lit. He looked at her carefully for some time, and then for some time he sat with his head bowed. Finally, he said to himself, "Let me make her speak. Perhaps the beauty of her face becomes more apparent when she speaks." Harun turned his face to Layla and asked, "Are you Layla?" "Yes, I am Layla, but you are not Majnun. The eye that is in Majnun's head is not in yours." "How can you see Layla with an eye with which you look at others?" "Unless you wash it clear with your tears, look at me with the eye of Majnun." One should look at the beloved with a loving eye, because he loves them. But the problem is that they don't look at God with the eye of love. They look at God with the eye of knowledge, or from the viewpoint of gnosis or philosophy. But to look with the eye of love is another work altogether. Be a person of heart. One should not be a person of bodily instincts, but a person of heart. Seek the heart, not instincts. Where is the place of the heart? The heart is hidden. He is a companion of God. But out of jealousy, they call him a man of heart. The moment the bright light of the truth reflects upon the heart becomes joyful. Then in a moment, that light disappears. But many times it happens like this, so that the heart might become a heart. It burns, and many times the heart gets broken until it melts, and only God remains. God indicated this to the prophet David. David asked God, "Where will I look for you?" God answered, "My heavens and my earth cannot encompass me. Only the heart of my faithful servant can encompass me." He also said, "I am with those whose hearts have been broken on my way." When you say a person of heart, say those whose hearts have been broken, because brokenness of heart is necessary. When you reach the truth, you will see the divine light of his exaltedness from within the divine light of the truth itself, because no one knows them but I. Intellect and love are made of different materials. Intellect ties people in knots and risks nothing, but love dissolves all tangles and risks everything. Intellect is always cautious and advises, "Beware too much ecstasy," whereas love says, "Oh, never mind, take the plunge." Intellect does not easily break down, whereas love can effortlessly reduce itself to rubble. But treasures are hidden among ruins. A broken heart hides treasures. He reminds us of the passage in the Quran, becoming trustworthy. The angels and the spirit rise up to him in a day whose measure is 50,000 years. He says, "You don't understand the hidden allusions, Rams, of the Quran. If you die only with this outer meaning, then it will take 50,000 years until you smell the fragrance of paradise. If you keep imagining, where is the universe of the prophets? Where is the universe of the saints? You'll get dizzy, lose your balance and fall down. Just start walking." Each and every reader comprehends the Holy Quran on a different level of tandem with the depth of his understanding. There are 4 levels of insight. The first level is the outer meaning, and it is the one that the majority of the people are content with. Next is the batin, the inner level. Third, there is the inner of the inner. And the 4th level is so deep it cannot be put into words, and is therefore bound to remain indescribable. Remember, he who comes to me by an arm span. But between arm span and arm span, between one knee and another knee, there are differences. It is said of Muhammad, 2 strides and he arrived. But you don't have the stride of Muhammad. A pharaoh raised his head inside you. Moses came and drove him out. Again Pharaoh came. Moses left. These are indications of the shifting of colors. How long is this going to go on? Hold on to Moses himself in such a way that another Pharaoh is unable to come. This shifting fickleness of colors is not the way. Shams takes to task sheikhs, jurists, and imams who say what they do not do. Of them he says, "Remember to ask." They study in the religious schools for the sake of fame and obtaining teaching positions. They say that one must do beautiful deeds. They declare this in these gatherings to gain status. Why do you seek knowledge? For the sake of a worldly morsel? This rope is for the sake of climbing out of this well, not for the sake of falling from this well into another. Bind yourself to these questions. Who am I, and what is my essence? Why have I come here, and where am I going? Where am I rooted? And what am I involved in right now, and towards what must I turn my face? He reminds us of the hadith. The best of human beings is the one who most benefits others. But how can one who doesn't know what good is do something good? How can those who don't know what a year is and who haven't understood what life is wish each other long lives? A single small silver coin given into the hand of a man of God is better than 1,000 silver coins that come into the hand of a man who is fond of his nafs. Shams reminds us of the Hadith Qudsi. La Illaha Illallah, there is no God but Allah, is my fortress. Whoever takes refuge in my fortress becomes secure. Shams says, whoever goes into this fortress of oneness, he did not say, whoever only says the name of the fortress. To say the name is easy. You may say, I have entered the fortress, or I went to Damascus. But if it were just a matter of the tongue, in an instant you could ascend from earth to the heavens, or to the empyrean and the throne. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the faithful one who says La ilaha illallah with purity and from the heart enters paradise. Now you sit and say, he is one. But who are you? You are more than 6,000. Become one. Otherwise, is his oneness your concern? You are 100,000 particles, and each particle of yours is being carried off by some desire. Within each particle of yours, you are carrying an illusion. The one who demonstrates purity of intention and sincerity of action goes to paradise. There is no need for a promise such as, If he or she has been able to do this, he or she enters paradise. If he or she has been able to do this, he or she is completely paradise itself. One of the ways in which Shams encourages us to be people of paradise is through being watchful of our speech. He says, sugar and vinegar. If you are in the midst of praising someone, what business do you have with speaking ill of someone? Suppose your mouth is full of sugar, then why would you put vinegar into it? If your mouth is full of vinegar, it's no shame for you not to do the salat. Why would it be? Since that is the place of the purified, what business does bad-mouthing have there? If you are really occupied with remembering God, with praising God, and absorbed in that sweetness, how could you speak ill of someone else and destroy that sweetness with such vinegar? Most of problems of the world stem from linguistic mistakes and simple misunderstanding. Don't ever take words at face value. When you step into the zone of love, language, as we know it, becomes obsolete. That which cannot be put into words can only be grasped through silence. He encourages us to be watchful for moments of conflict resolution, to encourage friendship even among enemies. He tells a story of the peace that comes with friendship. The peace that comes with friendship. A man was thinking bad thoughts about someone. The other one also had the same thoughts about him. There was a third man in between who was a friend of both of them. He said, "Now these two enemies will meet one another. Let's see what will happen." From there, he went to a place where they would encounter one another and waited for his friends to pass. When his eyes met with those of the first friend, he prostrated in front of him. When the other friend saw this, he threw his knife on the ground and threw himself at the feet of that friend. "Alas," he said, "this means that you are my friend's friend. How could I kill the friend of my friend?" We need to remember that words also can destroy. As Imam Ali said, "The tongue is a treasure. The tongue is also an endless disease."